Hello, this is the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Thank you so much for tuning into this video in which we will look at the rational root theorem. So we're going to be looking a lot at roots of polynomials, roots of cubics in particular. A root of a function fx is a number k such that f of k equals 0. That just says a root is a number that makes the function equal 0. So for example, if we look at this quadratic function here, it turns out that -1, if substituted, makes this equal to 0. So f of -1, I just replace x with -1. So -1 squared plus 7 times -1 plus 6, I get 0. So -1 is a root of this quadratic because it's a value that makes the quadratic equal 0. On the other hand, if I were to pick a number like +2 and substitute that for x, I would get x squared plus 7x plus 6. Well, that's clearly not equal to 0. That's equal to 24. So 2 is not a root. A root is a special number that makes the value of the function equal 0. And obviously, different functions have different roots. So the rational root theorem concerns polynomials. So remember, polynomials can be written in this form. It just means that we have lots of different powers of x. Each power of x is a positive integer, and these a's here are just coefficients, just numbers in front. So we're going to look at roots of polynomials, in particular cubics. The rational root theorem is of great use to us. It tells us that if there is a rational root, or any rational roots that the polynomial has are of the form p over q, where p divides a0 and q divides an. That's the rational root theorem. What is it saying? Well, we're looking at rational roots, so that means fractions where the numerator and denominator are integers. That's what this says here, p and q are integers. It's saying that if there is a rational root, it must be such that this number here divides the constant term. In other words, this number is a factor of the constant term, and the denominator is a factor of the leading coefficient. That's the coefficient of the highest power of x. Now, this can help us narrow down because sometimes when we're solving polynomial equations, we have to sort of guess the first root. This narrows down the choice. So let's say I wanted to find a rational root here. We're not actually going to find the root. We're just going to look at candidates. So the rational root theorem says it will be a fraction, p over q. That's what rational means, an integer over another integer. So p has to be a factor of a0, the constant term. So the choices for p here are positive and negative factors of 6. On the other hand, q has to be a factor of 5. So that really only leaves us positive or negative 1 and 5. So here are the possible choices. Let's go through the factors of 6. The factors of 6, integer factors that is, 1, 2, 3, and 6. So the denominator's either going to be 1 or 5. So we have these choices where the denominator's 1, or these choices where the denominator's 5. Now remember that they can be positive or negative. So it turns out that if there are rational roots of the polynomial above, it must be one of these. So you can see here that this gives us 8 choices, because each of these could be positive or negative. This gives us 8 choices. There are 16 possibilities for what a rational root could be. Now, it may be the case that this polynomial doesn't have any rational roots at all. It will certainly have at least one root. Cubics always do, but it may be irrational. But this just narrows our scope when looking for rational roots. So where it's really useful are for polynomials like this, So we'll often have to factorize that polynomial, but to factorize this expression here, we need to first know one of the roots. So we kind of have to guess it. So the rational root theorem will help us narrow our guesses. So here the leading coefficient, which is like our an, that's just 1 if it's not written. And here the constant term is 4. So the factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4, positive or negative. And the factors of 1, obviously just itself. So these are our options for a rational root. It can be positive or negative 1, positive or negative 2, positive or negative 4. There are only 6 possibilities. So if I want to find a root of this polynomial here, I don't need to check a trillion different possibilities. I just need to check these ones, positive and negative 1, 2, and 4. If there is a rational root, it will be one of these. It may not have a rational root, but if it does, it is going to be one of these. All right, thank you so much for tuning into this video. This has been the luckiest maths teacher in the world. Have a great day.